So, a few months back, Nintendo announced something interesting, Mega Evolutions for the Kalos starters. They also announced that for some reason they'd be locked behind the ranked battle system. Yup, something we arguably should have had almost a decade ago, and it's tied to what is usually my least favorite part of a game, the competitive scene. At a certain point, I was honestly not even going to bother trying to get Greninja's Megastone, seeing as I'd barely made any progress into the main story, but since I had a day off on the last day of the season, I decided to get some footage, which I'll probably post eventually, and use my meager progress and mons from just reaching rank X to see what I could realistically accomplish. And that would not be much. Also, if you're wondering why this came out several days after the new season started, I don't have a ton of free time to work on these videos, so if you could subscribe and like and comment and such, it would help me a lot in making these. Anyways, looking at my roster of available Pokemon, it was pretty clear that I didn't have much. My only fully evolved Mons were Beedrill and Heracross, and I only had basic TMs up to rank 14 from Mabel's quests. I decided that my best bet was to stick with a team of Croconaw, Flaffy, and Heracross. Getting right into things, the first round went probably better than I could have expected. This battle mostly served to teach me the basics of how this system worked. Namely, it taught me that moving constantly is the most effective strategy, and opponent Pokemon will very easily pick you off if you're standing still. It also taught me that items are helpful both for getting points at the end of the battle and for the boosts they provide. And since my opponents were running Mons like Absol and Alakazam, I actually managed to sneak a few KOs despite being way underpowered in comparison. Unfortunately, it wasn't nearly enough, especially considering that the Alpha Gyarados, that was the frontrunner of the battle, was using far too wide range of moves for me to realistically compete. While I did manage to score 2 KOs, the battle ended with myself in 4th place. Not a great start, but I still had time to work with. Stepping into another round, this time I had a surprising amount of luck on my side. See, a lot of the Pokemon I was facing were pretty squishy and were either Water, Psychic, or Steel types. This meant the combo of Heracross and Flaffy were actually able to steal quite a few KOs. This was the other important factor of ranked battles, sniping weakened targets. Sure, going head-to-head with a fully evolved Mon likely wouldn't end well for me, but hitting a retreating target with a ranged move, or damaging a squishy Mon who Heracross could damage trade with, both options that were fully on the table. Shout out to Pin Missile of all things being unreasonably good in this game. All this together meant that I was actually able to eke out a 3-way shared first place with 4 KOs, despite the fact that I had no reason to come even close to winning here. But hey, scummy or not, I will take it. Even better, this single win was enough to propel me all the way to rank V. Emboldened by my big first win, I went into the next round feeling pretty good about my chances. And speaking of I'll take those type wins, this was the first battle I ended up winning outright. It was mostly the same type of strategies as before, but this battle had one other factor that really played into my favor: good guesswork. There were plenty of times this round where I would either wait until my opponent switched and would get an attack on their Pokemon, or I just managed to correctly guess what move they used right as a switch occurred. Taken together, it allowed me to get 6 KOs, earning me a solid first place and a promotion to S rank. Still, this battle also revealed how dependent I was on Heracross, who was doing all of the heavy lifting. So I decided to back out of online and use the candies I had collected from wandering around aimlessly earlier to evolve both Croconaw and Flaffy. Not much really interesting happened in the next battle, but I did manage to get up to rank R. Still, it does prove that evolution alone wasn't necessarily the answer. But that wouldn't really mean much for my next 2 battles, as any of the progress I made into rank R was basically undone. The sneak attack giveth and taketh, but more than that, it was hard to land attacks on my opponents that were also using the keep moving strat. See, there are 3 methods to effectively dodge damage in this game mode. The first is the standard don't get hit idiot method, a true classic. The second is via switching, getting your Pokemon off the field to either escape unfavorable matchups or just avoid super effective hits from slower Mons. And can I just say, I know people say the speed stat doesn't really matter in Legends, but I insist that that's stupid. There were so many times that I wished Heracross would move its beetle butt faster just so it could actually do damage, only to miss because the enemy took the time to move 2 feet to the right. The speed stat still matters a ton, it's just that area of effect matters way more. Anyways, the third method of avoiding damage was by far the most annoying for me personally, that being Mega Evolving. See, during the Mega Evolution animation, the Mon going through a transformation is totally invincible, and since they were standing still, it usually meant the attack I just fired didn't do anything, leaving me open. And to make things even better, I didn't have a way to Mega Evolve my Pokemon either, since I hadn't gotten that far in the story, which presented problems. Fortunately though, the next round blessed me with more luck than I probably deserved, as one of the 4 opponents just didn't show up, guaranteeing at least 3rd place. But I was able to push beyond that, mostly due to getting a pick KO, then for Alligator's coverage moves defeating Gardevoir and Garchomp, then crunching a Gengar who used Curse to get a total of 4 KOs, 2nd place, and a promotion to Q. Unfortunately, I did get 4th place in the next battle, and I just want to talk about this moment here. I swear I got my attack out first to defeat this Emboar, but apparently I got beat out by the shiny Ampharos who then took out for Alligator. I mean, it wouldn't have changed anything, and I still ranked up, but come on, man! Give me my due KOs! No one respects an honest 1v1 anymore. Anyways, in the next battle, I almost exclusively scored KOs against opponents who were battling other people, taking them by surprise. Look, it's okay when I do it, alright? But while I was able to eke out a 3rd place finish, the Mega Starmie on the field proved to be a bit of a pain. I plan to give my opinion on every Mega Pokemon at some point, but all I'll say is, if you're a Starmie fan, don't expect to agree with my opinions there, and this battle did not help that feeling at all. Anyways, I think you get the idea at this point. Score KOs on unsuspecting foes, run away, the usual, but I do have 2 matches I want to touch on quickly. The first one is this, mainly due to the fact that the trainer with a Frogadier managed to win the whole thing, and yes, it was part of their team. And the second was this one, where I kept trading KOs. Seriously, every time I scored one on my Pokemon went down at the exact same time. It was honestly pretty funny. One other thing I was kinda glad about, you can't rank down if you lose points. It didn't happen often, but there were definitely a few matches where I ended up losing points instead of gaining, and if I did rank down, I doubt I would manage to accomplish anything. I did end up getting stuck around ranks M and L for a bit, but soon enough it was time for the final battle. At first, things really weren't going my way. I managed to defeat a Skarmory with Ampharos, but I was still trailing in points pretty bad and was definitely set to get 4th. But with less than 30 seconds left in the match, I was able to take down a Meganium thanks to Pin Missile and Aerial Ace from Heracross, spending the rest of the battle running away and getting items. Such cowardly tactics earned me a hard-fought 3rd place, and the real prize, the Greninjite. So, what do I think of ranked overall? It's really stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, there is legitimate skill involved. Team composition, who you choose to Mega Evolve, when you can at least, when to engage or disengage, when to take a KO, gather items, etc. There is a lot that goes into this mode to determine how successful you will be with it. But on the flip side, it's really down to luck. I would probably be stuck in Z rank if I hadn't simply lucked into favorable matchups when climbing the ladder, and I know that luck is always something of a factor in competitive settings, especially in Pokemon, but ZA's ranked mode in particular feels like it is very heavily defined by having the right Mon at the right time. That said, it's fun. It's so stupid, and I feel like I don't deserve half the KOs that I got, but it's genuinely fun. Sure, to a degree, it feels like bashing my head against a wall hoping it'll break, but damn it, sometimes it does, and it's glorious. I can't in good conscience say this mode is bad, and while I would of course prefer that the Kalos starters Megas weren't locked to comp for now, it's a surprisingly enjoyable experience. Now I just need to do it 2 more times. Wish me luck, I guess.